One of the ways to really increase the light quotient within you is, many of you here are familiar with shadow work, inner work, working on yourself, getting rid of stuff that doesn't belong, right? One of the biggest things that you need to do when you do that is, after you've done stuff, gotten rid of stuff and done healing on yourself, there is energetically inside of you, when you remove certain energies. Let's say you worked on something that happened, trauma you suffered in a situation maybe 2 years ago that you're still holding on to, whatever it is, and it's kind of holding you back. When you sit down and work with the seat of the emotions, your stomach, because that's who's holding it, you just let it go, or you work with someone, however you do it, and you let it go. What you want to do is ask for the light of your own spirit to be brought down into the physical and energetic aspects of your being. You just ask for that. Because a lot of the times we have to ask. Again, the divine beings, the part of you that is divine outside of time and space, will not interfere with the part of you that is the divine in the physical. For you all are divine. And it isn't somewhere else other than right there inside of you right now, physically. You asked for that to be, you asked for the light of your own spirit, however you want to refer to it. I refer to it as that, to be brought into your physical and energetic aspects every time. Every time. And you can ask and do that every day if you have a spiritual practice where you meditate, or even if you just sit outside and you're just sitting there and having communion with yourself. You can always ask for that. More of the light of my own spirit to be brought into the body, physically and energetically. And that's how you increase your light quotient. Because you're light. We all are light. And I'm sure we've all heard that, right? You guys, but not many explain, right? Not many explain what that means. But we are light. This is what it looks like when a being comes from the high upper realms. Again, not hierarchy, but levels of existence. And you come from the point where you are pure light. And as you drop down into the third density, fourth dimension, this is what light looks like when it is in solid form. You just look at your hand. That's what light looks like when it's solid. How do we know this is true? Because I could just be saying this, right? But in quantum physics, when they study particles, cells, that kind of stuff, I don't know if it's quantum physics, probably quantum physics and some biology involved. When you go down into the biology and down into the cells, and you go into the proton, neutron, electrons, right? They see, they know that these are proton, neutron, electrons. And then when they go below that and they go, well, what makes up a proton, a neutron, an electron? They find that these are made of quarks and leptons. Quarks and leptons. I don't know which one is the proton, which one is the electron. You can look that up because it's so easy to find, right? I even duetted someone I even duetted someone who talked about this. Very interesting. I think it was like a 3-minute video. When they looked down to see what a quark and a lepton is made of, you know what they found? Nothing solid. They found only light. So when you go down into human being, down to the cellular level below that, you only find pure light. The signature of what and who we are originally. So when you're light beings, it's true. If you go deep enough, you'll see it. And you can increase that light quotient By just asking yourself, because when I say ask your higher self, you're simply asking the creator within you. And he's nowhere else outside. Okay, like OTSD, PTSD. Yeah, even that. Like if especially that. And I'm glad you brought up that label. You brought up PTSD because yeah, the agenda of this reality. When I say this reality, what do I mean? The people who control it, the entities that benefit from humanity's energy, mainly through the forms of pain and suffering, your governments, your media, your institutions of learning, our police state, our military, our many of our industries live off of PTSD. So that is, I just would like to say this one thing to everyone. Their trauma, do not give it so much power. It's going to happen. But simply know that as soon as it does happen, you're not going to go looking for it, okay? That's not what I'm saying. You simply go, okay, whatever. I've got what deals with trauma and deals with any kind of emotional suffering is the stomach, the belly brain, the energetic belly brain. Because when you suppress or when things are stored to be dealt with later on, it is held here. If we do nothing and we simply stay away from situations that will bring anything like that, the belly brain will deal with it energetic on its own. We don't have to do anything. But what happens in our reality is one thing after the next is piled on, is piled on, is piled on, is piled on. And we rely on this guy here, which doesn't know what to do with it. It sends it down there, and the belly brain just puts it. And while it's dealing with that, it's got something, it's like triage. It's like an emergency room for some of us. Don't let your belly brain have to deal with emergency room stuff. Do not dwell. Yeah, exactly. So, like for example, I'll give an example. If you get out of a relationship and it was very trying, troublesome, and you have a lot of stuff and it is a traumatic relationship, don't go into one right away. Sit and let the healing happens. They say time will heal everything, anything. It's true, but it isn't time that's doing it. It's this guy within you that's doing it. But it needs time. Now, if you just let it and without having anything else happen, eventually you'll be able to get rid of it. It'll happen automatically. But if we allow it to keep coming, that's when things get out of hand. So instead of taking time to heal from that relationship, you jump into one the next week, and then the one, and then you're dating multiple people, and then little things happen here and there. You don't have time to heal. So you want to give yourself time to heal. That's just one example. There are many, many more. I just choose that one again because many of us are familiar with that one. Many of us are familiar with that one. But you want to give yourself time to heal. And when you're doing healing work on yourself, you also want to give yourself integration time. I'm starting to really stress that because you go and people do the work and they release, and then 2 days later they're doing it something else. And it's like you go to the doctor and you sprained your wrist. Yeah, you went to the doctor, they gave you a bandage. You're not going to go out there and just start playing tennis right afterwards, are you? No. You're going to let it heal. And then after it comes out, you're going to kind of make sure everything's okay. And then when you start playing tennis, you're going to start off real nice and soft and easy to build it up again. It's the same thing when you're working with yourself energetically. You want to give yourself time to integrate, time to rehabilitate, Sleep is the most important thing. Working with water, salt baths, going into nature, sticking your foot in the ground, barefoot, holding onto a tree. Doing those things will help to integrate the body really quickly. So if you do real big heavy work, like Ladybug mentioned PTSD, that's heavy. I don't care how much, that's heavy. And you release it, or you're working with a therapist. Take time to integrate. Let the mind needs time to put it all back together. The emotions especially, they need time to rewire and set things in proper order. And the body, which holds that stuff, certainly needs time. So you want to give it that time. The most important thing is to know the self, just to review. And to know the self is probably the biggest spiritual challenge you'll ever have, because the resistance to that is going to multiply. The resistance to that. And the resistance is going to come from yourself, primarily, because you might find it hard to believe what you discover about yourself, based on self-perceptions and self-beliefs that you were taught from family, church, school, media, and whatever else other kind of garbage tried to tell you about yourself, but in a way that would belittle you and completely take you away from the true nature of who you are. Right? And then the other resistance you're going to get is going to come from other people who are going to be offended, yes, offended, that how dare you change? Because, see, they have a picture in their head of you and who you are, and that picture has nothing to do with reality. It really hardly has anything to do with you as well either. But because, well, let me step back. Because it is their perception. It is them, not you. And so when they see you changing, it forces them to have to reevaluate what's in their mind about you, which actually means they have to evaluate themselves. They have to look at themselves. And many don't want to do that. And you're forcing them to do that by changing who you are in their minds. But you're not here for other people's experiences, and you're not here for other people's ideas. You're here for your own. You are here for your own experiences, your own plan, not other people's. Not other people's. The kind of healing that I do is quantum healing. And some here have experienced that working together with me. I use a different technique, but the quantum realm is a quantum realm. Benefits of being reincarnated many times. That's a one-on-one individual basis. Yes, those are two very good questions. Benefits of reincarnating many times. Here's the thing. I know that many people like to say we reincarnate, the wheel of reincarnation, the loop, blah, 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 and all this stuff. That was true at one point. But we're now in an epoch on our planet. Hey, Miss Nikki, it's good to see you again. There's a point on our planet, we're at a point on our planet where that no longer is true anymore. It once was. But now, if you're reincarnating, you see, I used to have a judgment on people And I would say, sort of, if I saw somebody who I thought was doing wasteful things with their lives or wasting their lives away, taking drugs and things of that nature, basically doing anything that I thought, was just not beneficial. And then my spirit said to me, how do you know that that person doesn't have a 20 lifetime plan here on planet Earth, meaning they're here for 20 lifetimes. Their plan is for them to reincarnate 20 lifetimes. And that experience is what they needed as a part of the 20 lifetime package. And then since that day, I stopped judging. And I don't care what it is they're doing. I do not judge or condemn. It's all right to judge. You have to judge. It's a part of the discriminatory system of the brain for survival. So you have to judge. It's when you condemn that makes it toxic. When you judge and then you condemn someone, that makes it toxic. Because you might have to judge and go, oh, now that person's doing that. I would never do that. That's not for me. And then you move on. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your discriminatory mind. It's important. But then when you condemn them, that's when it's toxic. And that's something we should never do. So the benefits of a multi-lifetime, it all depends how many lifetimes you're here for. And now that I know in the Hindu culture and such, you have the wheel of samsara. That is no longer true. You see, that's why I say some of our belief systems have to be modified for the new consciousness coming here. Because it was once true, but not anymore. Because we're evolving. We don't keep doing the old stuff. And the divine source creator, the creators are here to assist us. And they're not going to put up with any of that nonsense. They've already gotten rid of it. So the benefits of a lifetime means you're fulfilling whatever contract you have with yourself down here. Do I think quantum healing is helpful? Quantum healing, let's just talk about the quantum realm for a second. When we talk quantum, the quantum realm is the realm of pure potentiality, the realm of potential. It is the realm of darkness, the quantum realm. I know Marvel has all these pictures and there's adventures in the quantum realm. No such thing. The quantum realm is darkness. Darkness represents the beginning from where light appears. From the darkness comes the light. From the darkness comes creation. We see it in all the big books. I could mention some books, but I don't want to mention something that may not be too familiar. So many of you are familiar with the Bible. So let's go with that one. In the book of Genesis, right? It says Jehovah. By the way, that's not the creator. That's a fairy tale. Let's just make this true. But because of familiarity, there is some truth in that book. And there is some truth in Genesis. But it is not the way the planet was created. And it is not the way humanity was birthed here. Just make that clear. What were the two things? Some of you will know this because you might have heard me say it before. What were the two things that were already there before Jehovah showed up? If anybody wants to answer, I'll listen to an answer. I'll give about 10 seconds. Then we, the light. Yes, we are the light. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There was darkness. And then he said, let there be light. From the darkness came the light. There could have been no possibility for him to say there be light if there was not darkness to begin with. That is the realm of creation. That is the quantum realm. The other thing that was already there, and then I'm just paraphrasing. You can go there if you have a Bible. It says he organized the waters. They didn't say he created darkness, and it doesn't say he created water. So he's not the creator. Sorry. They were already there. But he knew how to use the quantum realm. The quantum realm at its base level is the ingredients, the stuff of creation. So when you're on the quantum level, everything's the same. Potential, everything's the same. Right? Everything is the same. There's no differentiation because it's the ingredients. And then from the ingredients, you can make what you want. TikTok. You can make what you want from the ingredients of the quantum realm. That's why it's called the realm of full potentiality, the quantum realms, yada, yada, yada. And you know where that realm is found? If anyone wants to go to the quantum realm, they must go within. You cannot take a plane, a train, or an automobile to go to it and reach it. You cannot travel or go through some wormhole to get there. You must go through this. Amazing. Now you know why everything must revolve around you. The quantum realm can only be accessed from within yourself. Hello. Now you know why you are divine. So to answer your questions, is it helpful? If you really want to get to anything at its roots, quantum is where you go. If you want to take care of anything from its roots, from its creation, quantum is where you go. If you want to uncreate something that is not beneficial, quantum is where you go. Then you know every part of it is undone, or you can cultivate it from there and you know exactly what's going to happen because you've got the roots in the right place. Right? So yes, quantum healing. So the kind of healing that energy flow is also here, that energy flow and I do is quantum healing. We don't mess around with any of this, and it goes deep. So people who come to us for healing, it's deep. And they feel it. And if things have to move, we move it. We meaning you as well, because it's a co-creative effort. We can't just go in there and do it for you. We do it together. So we came out of darkness like Genesis said. Yes, but not like Genesis said. Because Ladybug, if you remember, Genesis says God created man, and from the rib he created of that man he created a woman. Right? Fairy tale, of course. This is the part that is fairy tale. Because as you know, what is the actual evidence every day that you see? How does it actually work? How does it actually work? You know, and so I was talking about this the other day, I think another live, and it was it was amazing because I said it's amazing that we actually believe that. That's the amazing part. Every day we see human beings being birthed from the womb of a woman through the reproduction subject system and into the world. Every day. But suddenly some of us become real stupid when it comes to how things come onto this planet based on believing some lie in a book. Their eyes, their ears, their experience tell them the truth, but they believe in a silly fairy tale that has no evidence whatsoever. But it is true because here's the irony. You, Ladybug, I don't know if you have children, because if you have children, not only have you experienced it, but you've also birthed and experienced doing it yourself. We are conceived in the womb, right? Male and female, no matter who you are, based on a relationship between a man and a woman at this point. Many would argue with me, but I don't really care because we're into common sense here. And then you were held in that womb in darkness and water for 9 months before you were birthed into the planet. It's ironic, right? This is a relationship between the what I said earlier about Genesis and how we come here. That's right. And so what makes that story really pale and what makes that story completely rubbish is that we know this is this is common knowledge. And anybody that's in the medical industry, if you're a nurse, doctor, you don't even have to be, but we'll attest to this. The first trimester, everyone's the same. Do you know what everyone is in the first trimester? Some of you might know. Everyone is female in the first trimester. Then in the second trimester, that's why they do the test of, what the sex of a child is, because it is in the second trimester that we see some turn male and then others remain female. So within the DNA and within how not incubation. What is it? It's incubation, but it's not called the in utero process. I like to call it the in utero process. Tells us who we are. Everything, every answer is within. So when the sages of the past, nature, everything is within. We're like, oh, really? I see a bunch of stuff out there that I don't see within me. No, everything actually is within. It only exists out there because within it, and from within it came. An idea comes from the outside, comes into your mind, and then you create it. Everything you see first was within and then created so that it can exist outside. Everything. Do you have a different creation story? No, I'd like to think of it as a creation fact. You want to know how we were brought into existence? Look and see how every woman brings a child into existence. That's exactly how it came. Because the Divine Mother did not take anything away or decide to do it differently than how we do it. She birthed us into existence. Your spirit was birthed by the Divine Mother. The true you was birthed by the Divine Mother into existence from her wombs and through her loins. Just like you were birthed from your mother, from her womb and through her loins. No story needed. Evidence every day. No story needed. We are birthed from the divine. Why do you think so many beings want a piece of humanity? Because they know. And that is why I say knowing who you are is the most important thing you can ever do in your life. Because when you know that, you know where you came from, there's no messing with you now. No messing with you. When you know who you are, you know the Creator, and then you know that it is within you, that Divine Mother and Father are within you and you at the same time. Now you can step out into your spiritual authority amongst the bullshit, and you'll come out clean as a whistle. Why? Because you know who you are.